conscious relapses and why it is the opportunity for discipline, for detachment, and self-love, guys. Self-love, self-love. And the layout for today, I have some important concepts to give you ideas on how this feeds into each other. And we have relapse are not just addictions, conscious versus unconscious, how to heal, and strategies for when it comes up in the moment. But before, guys, the reason why this means so much to me is I've had my fair share of relapses. I have them frequently, but some of the more hard ones with addictions I've gone through, I've experienced, and occasionally they come up, guys. And for me, when I would relapse, right, and my addiction was to pornography, I would be so hard on myself, guys. I would be so hard on myself. And I was like, I'm garbage, I'm worthless, I'm not making any progress, this just keeps happening. And it created an echo of shame, an echo of guilt all over my body. And through that, guys, it made me withdraw from life. It didn't make me engage connections. I would isolate from. I wouldn't go after the things that I want. It diminished my light. It diminished my radiancy, guys. And that feeling of constriction, it was just so brutal. And it was after doing a lot of work, guys, that there's a much better way. There's a much better way. And so I wanted to share this with you because now, guys, when I don't really relapse to the hard stuff anymore or whatnot, but my occasional relapses, and I'll get into this in a second, it's like it's an opportunity. An opportunity. I love it. I let it go and I move on, guys. I'm not holding on. I'm not creating various feedback loops. And that is why I do this work and why I wanted to share this video with you. Comment down below if you have any stories of relapses, how that's impacting you. And let's dive in, guys. So a big concept of this that comes up is seeking versus cultivating, guys. When you are in seeking energy, you need something outside yourself to fulfill you, to make you feel alive, worthy, impactful. And that is where relapses come from. For the most part, you are seeking a certain energy, entity outside yourself to feel complete, to feel whole. Versus cultivating, guys, where you build your internal vessel every single day through affirmations, positive programming, taking amazing actions to better your life. That is where you will no longer need to seek because you have it internally within your being, guys. That is why you have to do the work and you have to make sure you're not seeking anything outside yourself, guys. And this is a journey. It's going to take time, but guys, this leads to this next one. External validation or anything outside yourself that creates strong experiences internally, right? Because when you are going through this, it's the same concept. There is something outside yourself that could change your internal state. And in a perfect world, guys, nothing can get you off your center. Nothing, absolutely nothing. You are so grounded and rooted in yourself, guys. And why? Because you've cultivated it. You've built it internally. That is why we do this work. And if you are having relapses, you have more work to do to cultivate the internal state of empowerment, right? And a big part of this work, guys, is when you're seeking stuff outside yourself, you haven't built yourself. You haven't built your internal foundation. And a lot of this comes down to breath work and energy work. The more that you are absolutely rooted in your divine essence, the deepest layers of your body, that's where the energy work comes in, the transmutation. You're going to be very grounded and centered, right? This is various yoga practice, breathing deep into your body. This is Qigong, moving the energy. So that is very important, building your sense of self so you don't get triggered, right? Or you have opportunities for relapses to happen. Ooh, this is good, guys. A relapse is not just an addiction. It's not just for the hard stuff. You could relapse in anything that activates old disempowering programs within you, old disempowering wirings or behaviors. And so it's not just addictions. This could be abandonment wounds. This could be nervous system activations with flight, fawn, or freeze. And that is why it's universal, guys. It's not just addictions we're dealing with. It is anything that gets you off your center, off your truth. And that is why you have to be on top of everything with this work, because once you start doing work with one, it helps with the other, guys. And now we're going to be going, conscious versus unconscious. This is great. Consciousness, guys, is where you have that pause. You have that moment. You have an opportunity to decide how you proceed, and it's a window. And when you first begin doing this work, it's going to be very small, right? And for example, say you're at Quick Trip and you see glaziers, right? And you're like, man, those donuts look amazing. I'm smelling the air and it smells delicious, empowering, and then what happens, guys, is you have a choice, right? I'm on a diet. I know I'm not supposed to eat a donut, but they look so good. And that pause is where a decision has to be made, because if one is not, you're going to take the path of least resistance, which is usually the disempowering, guys, usually the disempowering. And so our goal with the work we do is to expand that consciousness, that time. Instead of maybe 1 or 2 seconds, now you get 4 seconds, now you get 6 seconds. And how do you do this, guys? Being grounded, rooted in yourself, and then catching those various thoughts early. And that's where meditation comes in, witnessing the thoughts of your mind, not buying into them, and everything else takes care of itself. And unconscious, guys, is nervous system reactions. This is where you immediately get triggered, thrown off your center, off your truth. And this is flight, fawn, or freeze, right? And various patterns come up from this. And guys, this is where a lot of destruction can happen with your triggers. And so what needs to happen is the goal with this work is to make the unconscious conscious, and you have an opportunity to start choosing new stuff. And that is why you have to go within, you have to breathe, and honor your relapses, guys. Honor your relapses. And so, guys, strategies. What happens when it's like, I just relapsed, I came, I ate that donut. It was so good and delicious, but now I'm starting to feel bad about myself. Self-love. Self-love immediately, right when the action comes up, guys. Because more often than not, you have deep echoes of shame and guilt, and those will be the default response unless you catch it. So affirmation that I absolutely love is, even though I insert destructive behavior, binged on some Krispy Kreme donuts or glaziers, I still fully love and accept myself. I love myself unconditionally. Just keep speaking it and feel it and breathe, guys. Breathe into the body. Breathe into the body. It is so important to breathe. And that way we're connecting to our true self, and we're in feeling versus thinking. And physical touch, maybe hug yourself, say all these things. You know what you need to do to feel loved in that moment. And this is action for a new pathway. So, hey, okay, you want to immediately choose your light in that moment. Even though you just chose in the dark and you ate that Krispy Kreme donut, now it's like, okay, now I'm going to go eat a carrot, or I'm going to go eat some chips and hummus, because I want to choose that light in that moment so they both are honored and cherished. And that way in the system, guys, you are putting more consciousness into the good stuff. And I'll get into that, into how to heal in a second. And the guys, reflect. You have to reflect on what took you off your center. Where does it come from? And that will allow you to start breaking it down so you have more insight and you have more wisdom, guys. More wisdom. And say you're in the conscious state, right? And it's like you're starting to make that choice. Always come back to center. Breathe. Feel your body. 4, 7, 8 for breathing times 3. And I promise you, the likelihood of you going to that external entity is going to be very small. That is what we want, right? Come back home. So how to heal, guys? You have to love yourself fully, all parts of yourself, because when you have those shadows, you have those emotions of shame and guilt or destructive behaviors, usually there's not a self-love component. So keep building that within you every single day, every single thought, every single emotion. It is a journey, but it's really reflected when the wounding comes up. And you have to build your sense of self, guys. That is the most important thing. We mentioned that above, but with the breath work, doing that every day. Because guys, when you're grounded and centered, you reset everything because you're in the moment, you're present, your nervous system isn't activated, and then you're approaching your day from a clean state versus you're already activated, but you just forgot. Or guys, what I see a lot are there are people that have been unconscious for years. They're operating on the same program. So that is why breath work is important. You get a chance for equilibrium and to see where your triggers are and what takes you off your center. And then guys, you have to detach. You have to detach from this thing. So like, okay, yes, this happened, but what good does it do me lingering on it, overthinking about it? It's done. Cool. We're finished. Let's move on. And part of this, guys, is no, you don't have to be perfect. And the self-love. The more self-love you have, you'll be able to move on, no problem. And failures, guys, are how you grow. Fail valiantly because that is how you become. And lastly, guys, you have to consistently reprogram with your mind. You have to reprogram with your mind because when the wounding gets activated, it will become stronger. And if you're having a hard time breaking free from something, it is so deeply echoed in your body, in your consciousness, and you don't have enough good stuff to combat it yet. So that is where affirmations come from. That is where hypnotherapy comes in. Keep putting good stuff in, guys. Even though, I have some momentum, I'm feeling good, keep putting good stuff into the system, guys. Because until you are 100% confident and you can handle it when stress comes up in your life. That is the ultimate revealer. I've given you a lot in this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I want to build this channel to the fullest so we could keep honoring change and empowerment within our communities, within our people, and help give each other the tools to thrive. I do offer one-on-one coaching for you guys to step into your fullness, step into your truth. Let me work with you. We'll create a container. We'll shed all the stuff that's not serving you. We'll help heal, wither, and I will be with you every single step of the way. Check out the website down below. And as always, guys, choose your light and empowerment. Blessings.